Hi, and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee, in for Phil Gallagher. Get the bug spray out and citronella candles too. The Burlington Board of Health says mosquitoes captured in town have tested positive for a dangerous disease. In a statement, the health department said that the Massachusetts Department of Public Health found West Nile virus in mosquitoes captured in Burlington on August 17th. This news should serve as a warning that mosquitoes pose a health threat between now and early October. Although the chances of acquiring mosquito-borne diseases such as West Nile virus or Eastern equine encephalitis are remote, residents should be aware that these mosquito-borne viruses could cause fever, meningitis, or encephalitis. Early symptoms of these diseases include fever, headache, stiff neck, and muscle weakness. People infected with West Nile virus may have no symptoms. Culex mosquitoes that develop in water-holding containers are the primary vectors of West Nile virus, while the mosquitoes that transmit Eastern equine encephalitis originate in wetlands. Here are some tips to avoid mosquito bites. Be aware of peak mosquito hours. The hours from dusk to dawn are peak biting times for many mosquitoes. Consider rescheduling outdoor activities that occur during evening or early morning. Clothing can help reduce mosquito bites. Although it may be difficult to do when it's hot, wearing long sleeves, long pants, and socks when outdoors will help keep mosquitoes away from your skin. Apply insect repellent when you go outdoors. Drain standing water. Mosquitoes lay their eggs in standing water. Limit the number of places around your home for mosquitoes to breed by either draining or getting rid of items that hold water. Properly maintain unused swimming pools. Mosquitoes commonly lay eggs in neglected swimming pools and water in loose-fitting pool covers or tarps. Install or repair screens. Some mosquitoes like to come indoors. Keep them outside by having tightly fitted screens on all of your windows and doors. For further information, log on to the Massachusetts Department of Public Health website at www.mass.gov/dph/mosquito. A Burlington man was among the 33 arrested at the free speech rally and counter-protest on the Boston Common this past weekend. On Saturday, thousands gathered on Boston Common in what was called by authorities a mostly peaceful pair of events. A small number were there as part of a free speech rally organized by the Boston Free Speech Coalition. A larger group, fearing the free speech rally was really a front for white nationalist ideas that were seen expressed in Charlottesville, Virginia, the week before, came to counter-protest. In total, authorities estimated 40,000 people were on the Common and surrounding areas. The Boston Police Department said in a statement that most of the people at the rallies were peaceful, though a number of arrests were made of those who got out of line. They said that on Saturday, 33 individuals were arrested for failing to behave in a respectful and responsible manner. Police added that in the days leading up to the event, both Mayor Walsh and Commissioner Evans asked, encouraged, and urged all those attending these events to be on their best behavior and to embrace nonviolence over violence. Thankfully, the majority of those attending did just that. Unfortunately, police said not everybody understood the importance of good behavior. One of those arrested was William Papagenopoulos, age 30, of Burlington, who was charged with disturbing the peace. All the arrestees are set to appear in court this week. Religious, civic, and political leaders across the country have come out to denounce the hatred seen in Charlottesville 2 weeks ago. Locally, the response has come in a number of forms, including a vigil and an interfaith gathering. BNews Director Rich Hosford has more.
Someday Many people across the country came out against the images of hate and intolerance seen during a white nationalist and Ku Klux Klan rally held 2 weeks ago in Charlottesville, Virginia. The scenes were shocking to see and they reminded many of dark days from the past. They were also a motivation for many to stand up and to resist hate.
It was rage that this could happen in this country. As a Jew, seeing that, it was just absolutely horrible. And we, as far as
I immediately felt that we needed to respond in some very powerful way because as my people were killed, so millions of people were killed by the Nazis, and we just could not stand idly by and watch that same kind of hatred permeate our society again. And in Judaism, we say never again, which is our sign that to each other, our dog whistle to each other, so to speak, that we need to stand up whenever this sort of hatred becomes prevalent in any society, not just about Jews, but for anybody. So we feel it's important to love our neighbor as ourselves, and when one group is attacked, to stand up for all peoples, because we believe that all peoples are made in the image of God.
Locally, there were a number of events, including a vigil in Bedford the Monday after the Charlottesville rally.
On Monday, that Monday, Congressman Seth Moulton was going to speak at a town hall in Bedford at Bedford High School, so we thought that was the perfect opportunity for the Bedford members of the Bedford Interfaith clergy to get together and sponsor a vigil right after he spoke. And so he was nice enough to come out, to cut his town hall short and come out himself and speak to us, speak to the crowd. We had somebody singing songs, and it was a really wonderful feeling.
Unlike what was seen in the rally and counter-protest in Virginia, the local vigil had an atmosphere of love and camaraderie.
Well, there was a wonderful feeling among the crowd. I think there were over 200 people there, and everybody was really yearning to stand up and be with each other and support each other, to stand up to hate and say no to hate, and to just, again, raise our values as Americans, that all are created equal. So, and the singing really added a tremendous amount, just the presence of all clergy and members of different faiths standing together in front of everybody was a wonderful sign to the whole community.
The vigil was not the only gathering to show peace, love, and tolerance. On Friday, Temple Shalom Emeth opened its doors to all people for an interfaith dinner.
So members of the Burlington clergy felt that we wanted to do something more than just stand in a public place at a vigil standing together in silence or singing together. We wanted to act out our beliefs. So we decided to have a meal where people could sit together, get to know each other, people from different faith communities, and really raise our values in that even more profound way. So we had about over 60 people here in the temple, members of different faith communities. We had different people from different faith communities speak. We had somebody singing songs, and the most powerful moment of that evening for me is that at the end, after everybody finished speaking, and we sang "We Shall Overcome," and when we sang "We Shall Overcome," people immediately rose from their seats and stood around the room holding hands in one huge circle all around the social hall. And I could tell that people weren't done singing. They just felt like the real need to continue to sing. So we ended up singing 5 or 6 songs instead of the 2 that we had planned.
So what was the takeaway from events such as the Peace Vigil and the Interfaith Dinner? What do religious leaders hope people learn from such action?
It's very important to our own community and our own congregation here to send a very clear message locally that we will not tolerate such actions, and we will stand up for justice for everybody.
We will not let hate overtake our society, and we will continue to stand up for our values as Americans and people of goodwill and people who love one another, and stand by the American principle that all are created equal.
At Temple Shalom Emeth, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
After some twists and turns, a warrant article proposing the formation of a zoning bylaw review committee will be before town meeting this September, though it is possible it may be postponed until January. The article was put forward by the Ad Hoc Zoning Bylaw Review Study Committee that was formed by town meeting in September of 2016. It suggests a review committee be formed made up of 9 voting members and 2 non-voting members. The voting membership would include town meeting members as well as a member from the business community and a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals. The non-voting members would include a member of the Planning Board and someone from the Building Department. The purpose of this committee would be to review existing zoning bylaws and suggest possible changes to bring them up to date and in line with anticipated changes coming from the state level. The committee is expected to require funds, estimated to be around $10,000, for a recording secretary and to cover consultant fees. Initially, the article seemed like it would be forestalled for the September town meeting after the Board of Selectmen voted not to include it on the warrant. However, selectmen afterwards realized that it was not in their power to deny the article's inclusion on the warrant and rescinded that decision. The board may vote not to support it at the next meeting. Their opposition, expressed by Chairman Chris Hartling, is that the study committee did not get enough input from other involved parties before drafting the makeup of the review committee. The study committee is meeting next week and will decide whether to pursue the article in September or work on it further and bring it before town meeting in January. The Burlington Red Devils are back on the field and ready for another football season. This year, they are led by a new head coach, Dan McKay. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris went down to the practice field to check this out.
Ready, set, hut! The Burlington Red Devils are back and are ready to head on the field for another football season. Last week I went to the practice field to see the team in action. There were some changes made in the lead up to this season, the most significant being the introduction of new head coach Dan McKay.
So I've been coaching football for the last 12 years. I was in Barica for 8 years or so. I was a coach at Lexington High School last year. I've been a teacher at Burlington High School for the last 11 years. And when the job opened up, I applied for it, had been an aspiring head coach, and was fortunate enough to get the position.
There are a number of challenges facing the coaching staff, including getting new players up to speed and teaching the veterans a slate of new plays.
I think the biggest challenge this year is teaching the team a new scheme, new scheme on offense, new scheme on defense, and new special team scheme. And I think they're picking it up pretty quick. And then it's getting the kids, the student athletes, to believe in themselves and to play with confidence and to trust their reads, trust their keys, and just let it loose and play football and have fun.
Unfortunately, the Red Devils did not come out on top last season. This year, they are moving on from their mistakes, and part of that is to work hard as a team.
We motivate them through our culture. One of the things that we talked about on day one is, our mantra here is tough people win. And I define what toughness is for them and what tough people do. And they all signed it and committed to being tough this year, not only for the program and for themselves, but for the team. And we talk in our culture a lot about relentless effort, playing as hard as we can play for 4 to 6 seconds from point A to point B, for ourselves, for the program, and for our teammates. And that's really seemed to work for them, to get them to understand the total team concept and team picture, and that we're all connected to each other, and that we all, feed off each other, and we're all, affected by each other. With one fails, we all fail. One succeeds, we all succeed. If one guy takes a playoff, we're all going to be affected by it. If all 11 do what they're supposed to do, we're going to have success.
It doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the opportunity to play every single week. We're not really concerned with who we're playing. We're going to show up. We're going to play as hard as we can. We're going to play with relentless effort. We're going to play tough. We're going to play 4 to 6 A to B and execute what we do and let the chips fall where they may. And we're going to play with extreme effort, and we're going to compete like crazy.
One of Dan McKay's favorite things about being the head coach is teaching the kids how to play.
And the student athletes here are working extremely hard. They've been really focused on what we've been doing. They've been doing what we've asked them to do. They've done what we've asked them to do all summer. And so far in the preseason, they've been working really hard at what we've been trying to teach them to do, and really hard at installing our culture.
In addition to a new coach, the Red Devils have a new quarterback as well, who is very excited about the 2017 season.
It's very exciting. New coach, new staff. Can't wait.
Coach McKay hopes that the Red Devils will take something away from the upcoming season.
I hope they understand the value of hard work and what it takes to be successful. It's the easiest thing in the world to say you want to be great at something, but it's actually very difficult to achieve that. And football is kind of a microcosm of life. You're going to get knocked down, but you got to get back up. You're going to be tired, but you got to continue to work, not only for yourself, but for the guy next to you, whether in the future that's for your family. So I think it teaches them a lot of those values that will help them later on in life, of hard work, competing, being committed to different things, and then being relentless with their effort. You're relentless with your effort on the football field, you have success. If you're relentless with your effort in the classroom and later on in your career you'll have success. So hopefully that will translate for them.
Finally, Coach McKay is ready for the kickoff and is excited to see the team in action.
I'm looking forward to the season. I hope that everybody comes out and watches us. I hope we have an exciting team, put a good product on the field. Student athletes are working extremely hard. We got a lot of good athletes, a lot of good football players out here who are excited for the season, and we're trying to get better every single day. Our goal right now is getting better every day during the preseason, and we're looking forward to playing games during the season and showcasing our talents.
From the practice field, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Robert. Heading to a big meeting and need a place to stop for a quick styling? Or just like to get professionals handle your hair and nails? A new business moving into Burlington may be what you're looking for. Last week, the Planning Board approved a special permit for Style Savants, LLC, to open a Mane and Mani in the district. The hair washing, styling, and manicure business will be located in a 1,600 square foot section of the building that also hosts Pressed Cafe. This will be the fourth Mane and Mani location, with existing spots already in Wellesley, Linfield, and Peabody. Attorney Mark Vaughn of Reamer & Bronstein, who was representing the business, said Mane and Mani offers a unique customer experience. He said they call themselves a style bar, though no alcohol is involved. They are not a traditional hair salon, as they provide no cutting or coloring. Their principal business is washing and styling hair and manicures. Owner Saverio Fulcinini, Saverio, said he was excited to locate in Burlington, a town that he has eyed since starting the business. He said in the other towns where Mane and Mani is located, the business has made good connections, both with customers and with the community. Members of the Planning Board were happy with the information provided. There were a couple of questions about whether the Board of Health had approved the application due to the business being in an aquifer. Vaughn explained that they had been briefed, but that the business did not need a formal hearing. He added that businesses of this kind are regulated at the state level as far as contamination. Fulciniti said the business has its own sanitation standards that are more stringent than even the state standards. The Planning Board approved the special permit with a vote of 6-0-0. Fulciniti said they hope to be open by the holiday season. After 15 years of service, Lori Hodgson is retiring as director from the Burlington Public Library. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty sat down and spoke with Lori for a look back on her career and experience working with the Burlington Library and community.
After 15 years of service, Lori Hodgson is retiring as director of the Burlington Public Library. Before she began her work in library services, Lori worked as a teacher with a degree from Bridgewater State University.
I taught for a few years, and then I took time off to raise my family and did other types of work. And when I moved back to Wilmington in '92, I started working as a circulation librarian at the Wilmington Library, and I was covering the reference desk quite frequently, so I decided to go to Simmons and get my library degree. And soon after I got my degree, there was an opening in the reference department at Wilmington, so I became head of reference there, and I was there from '93 till 2002. In 2002, I came here as assistant director, and within 6 months I was acting director. And the trustees asked that I apply for the position of director, so I did, and I've been for 15 years.
I asked Lori how she's seen the library world change throughout her career.
When I first got my library degree, 99% of the questions could be answered within your library. Now the reference questions that we get now are much more involved because people Google and use the internet. Although it's not always the most accurate, people do use that. Libraries used to be all about books or more about books. Obviously, as we can tell by our circulation, that books are still important, but the numbers are down a little bit. Now you can download books from Overdrive. You can look at, you can stream music from Freegal, and we have Hoopla, and you can watch movies from the library, and that's all free. Those are all services we provide. What this library has become is a lot more community center. Meeting rooms are huge. The Demand for our study rooms is incredible. We could actually use more of them. People come here because they want the quiet, they want to be able to spend the day studying, or some people use it as an office. They come in and they do their work because they're on the road, and this is where they can get free Wi-Fi. So that has changed a lot.
I also had a chance to speak with Lori's successor, Assistant Director Michael Wick.
She's been fantastic. She's been a wonderful mentor to me during my time as assistant director as well as incoming director. She's done a great job these past 15 years in terms of building up the library to become what it is, as financially sound as it is, wonderful resources, very highly respected in its community. I come in with that great advantage which Lori has built up, as well as the wonderful staff that she's hired on to the library and the wonderful sense of goodwill towards the library by the residents of Burlington.
Lori spoke on what it's been like working at the library and within the Burlington community.
Burlington is an awesome community, and I say it all the time. The support of the administration, the support of the businesses in this community, and the support of the public is absolutely the strongest I've seen in all the places I've been. We are allowed to provide a lot more services because we are so well funded and well supported by the whole town and community. I will miss the interaction with people. I will miss my staff because I have the best staff going. They go above and beyond for everybody and everything that we do here. And my trustees are amazing. They've always supported me and my plan and my vision for this town, and I'll miss that too.
As far as retirement plans, Lori hopes to travel and spend more time with her family while possibly continuing to work part-time and putting her new interior design certificate to good use. I did have to ask, though, if she had any good reading materials she had been putting off.
I have a list because people think that, oh, you're a librarian, all you get to do is read all day. No, I read for business, not as much for pleasure as I used to, and so I have created a list that is very long, so it will keep me busy for a very long time.
Finally, denizens of the Burlington Library can still expect to see Lori around from time to time.
I'll be dropping in. I might come to programs. I probably will still come here for books, etc. And it will be hard to let go completely of this community because it's so awesome.
We here at BNews wish Lori nothing but the best in the next chapter of her life. Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNews Weekly.
Thank you, Chris. Due to the opioid epidemic sweeping across the country, many emergency first responders have had to become proficient in injecting users who have overdosed with the life-saving Narcan shot. However, since time is of the essence when someone overdoses, it is important that members of the public also know how to react in an emergency. To that end, Burlington Police Chief Michael Kent announced on Wednesday that the Burlington Opioid Outreach Program will offer a free nasal naloxone and harm reduction training to the public next week. Kent said the aim of the program is to provide critical training to anyone who has a loved one or knows someone who is struggling with addiction. He encourages anyone who is affected by opioids, whether directly or indirectly, to attend this meeting. The training will be held on Tuesday, August 29th from 7 to 8 p.m. at St. Mark's Church, 10 St. Mark's Road. Nasal naloxone, otherwise known as Narcan, is an opioid antagonist that can reverse the effects of a potentially fatal overdose by displacing the drug from the receptors in the brain. Police say attendees will learn how to administer Narcan, and a limited number of free doses of the opioid reversal drug will be available following the training. The event is free and open to everyone, even non-Burlington residents. The town of Burlington will remember and honor those lost in the World Trade Center and Pentagon attacks and everyone who gave their lives fighting in the war on terrorism with a special ceremony. After the events of 9/11/2001, we all said that we should never forget, a release from the Board of Selectmen Town Administrator's Office states. As we approach the 16th anniversary of that horrific September day in 2001, we in Burlington are placing a permanent reminder on our town common to reinforce those 4 words: we shall never forget. The town of Burlington will be placing 2 700-pound rails that sat below the 2 World Trade Center buildings on the town common on Sunday, September 10th, 2017. The ceremony will honor and remember not only the innocent souls lost that day, but also the brave first responders who died running toward the danger. Town leaders said they are proud that Burlington received the 2 rails from the World Trade Center. This ceremony will be among the last in the nation to feature artifacts from the towers. BNews weatherman Peter Brown is out this week, but BNews reporter Robert Paris is filling in with this week's weather. We'll also check out what's happening in Burlington with the new voice of our community calendar, Madison Shipka.
Hello, I'm Robert Paris, filling in for BNews weatherman Peter Brown, who is out this week. We start our weather report with the almanac. According to the numbers, we are pretty much seeing an average temperature for this time of year with a high in the upper 70s. Historically, there have been some extremes. However, not too surprising, we've seen temps in the 90s in late August in the past. The shocker, however, is that the historic low for this day is 44 degrees in 1971. It must have felt strange to get low 40s in August, and I bet a lot of animal and insects were caught very much by surprise. One final note on the almanac is that the sun is setting earlier every day. Sunset on Friday will be at 7:32 p.m. You might just think we have a second eclipse during your evening out, but sadly, that's just not the case. That's just the days getting shorter as we march towards the autumn season. Now, let's look at the 7-day forecast. I have to say, it looks like we have a nice week ahead of us with mild temperatures in the 70s and mostly sunny skies. As you can see through the weekend, we'll have a few clouds in the temperatures in the mid-70s. Those temps will drop a little early in the week into the low 70s before starting to rise again for the end of the week. On Thursday, we'll have temperatures approaching the 80s. All in all, a good forecast for the week ahead. Well, that's your weather report. Peter will be back next week for the full forecast. For this week, I'm Robert Paris with your BNews weather.
Hello, I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar. Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. On Wednesday, August 30th, from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., the district in Burlington will be having a movie night. The movie they'll be showing is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, starring Matthew Broderick. The movie will be held at the lawn area behind Rebecca's Cafe. You may bring your lawn chairs and blankets. Everyone is welcome. The event is free. Popcorn and whoopie pies will be provided. For more info, please call the district at 781-328-6440. Ready, set, hut. On Thursday, September 7th, Kings at 3rd Ave will be having an NFL season launch party. The fun begins at 7 p.m. with complimentary apps and pizza samples for the first hour. There will also be giant beer mugs, giveaways, and much more. Kickoff for the Kansas City vs. New England game will be at 8:30 p.m. The event is for 21 and older. For more info about the event, visit kingsbowlamerica.com or call 781-238-4400. Looking to end your summer with a getaway? On Saturday, September 9th, the Burlington Rec Department is having a day trip to Rockport and Gloucester. There will also be lunch at the local famous Gloucester House restaurant. Everyone is welcome. Pre-registration is required. The cost of the trip is $102 per person. For more info and to register for the trip, visit burlingtonrecreation.org or call 781-270-1695. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo shows construction being done at the Building 19 site over on Cambridge Street. Building 19 was a retail store that sold previously used items such as clothes, household items, and much more. The incoming project, called The Shops at Simons Park, will feature new retail locations and restaurants in 2 large buildings. There will also be a number of condos. We'd like to see your photos. It can be pictures of your family, friends, pets, whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's it for this week's edition of BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee. Thank you for watching. And before we leave today, or as we leave today, we're going to leave you with a special video. Though it was cloudy, we were able to get some shots of the partial eclipse that was visible on this area during Monday. We will see you next week.